Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Jiu-Jitsu BJJ. I'm Andrew over here at Danville Jiu-Jitsu. Go check out Jiu-Jitsu Saves. And I just wanted to talk about a few concepts and principles of Jiu-Jitsu that I finally kind of started to be able to articulate after 15 years of Jiu-Jitsu. And what I've come to understand is there's three main things that can encapsulate all of Jiu-Jitsu, all the variations of Jiu-Jitsu. In order, as an attacker, it goes as follows: angles, wedges, and leverage. You have to get to a superior angle to start placing your wedges. You have to be able to place your wedges to keep your opponent stationary so they cannot move while you're applying your leverage to joints, to the neck, or for sweeping movements. So as an attacker, all of Jiu-Jitsu goes angles, wedges, leverage. As a defender, it's the exact opposite. You have to go leverage, wedges, angles. If I'm in a bow choke, I have to address where the leverage is being placed. It's on this collar. So I have to address the collar. Then I have to try to break down the wedges that are holding me in place, leg over the shoulder or whatever it is. And then I have to take away the angular superiority of my opponent. Then I can start trying to find my own angular superiority, place my wedges, and go for my attacks with leverage. So for example, as an attacker, if I'm going for an armbar from the mount, when I'm in the mount, if I'm parallel with my opponent, then there's no attack. I can't get to the arm. I can't get to any real movements when I'm very directly even with my opponent. I have to start creating my angular superiority. So I slide my knee up to the head. I start going into S mount, looking for control on the arm. Then I can start to apply my wedges. I can put my leg over the face, leg over the body, squeeze my knees around the arm, hold the arm in place with my wedges. Then I can start applying leverage directly to the arm, looking for my breaks and looking for my taps. So as I was saying, in order as an attacker, you go angles, wedges, leverage. Now as a defender, when you're defending a position or you're in a submission, you have to go the exact opposite way. You have to address the leverage first, where the leverage is being applied. You have to break down the wedges, the source of the wedges, and then you got to take away your opponent's angular superiority so you can start getting into a position where you can fight back. So if I'm in an arm bar, right, I know that the leverage is going to be against my arm. I have to protect that arm, I have to hold it, not let it get straightened. Then I need to break down the wedges. The wedges from an arm bar generally are the legs around my face and around my body. I got to start addressing those. I get the leg off my head, maybe get the lower leg inside my guard, and then I can start working to turn into my opponent or move away from my opponent, take away their angular superiority, and then start developing my own angle. So the last part of this concept I kind of wanted to talk about, these basic principles, is why I didn't add grips as a fourth part, or the first part. The reason I'm not talking about grips so much is because it's kind of implied. It'd be like me telling you to go climb a mountain and don't use your hands. You know, you can't start the fight without grips. And obviously learning grip fighting and having better grips than your opponent to start the fight is very, very important. But it's implied, and I'm not working with specific techniques here. I'm working on basic principles. So that's why I didn't go into grips as a fourth part or the first part of these basic underlying three principles to Jiu-Jitsu. Also, sometimes the wedges are the source of the leverage. With an arm bar, the source of the leverage is my arm trying to straighten their elbow using my back and my hips. My legs are the wedges around the face and the body of the arm. So the source of the leverage and the source of the wedges are different. When it comes to moves like triangles, the wedges are the source of the leverage. My legs are wedged around his neck and his arm, and my legs are together behind his head, and that's where I create the leverage from, by squeezing my knees together or getting a really solid angle. So every now and then, some of the moves that we do, the wedge is the source of the leverage. So as a defender, you need to address the source of the leverage, which also breaks down the wedge, and then you can get to your angular superiority.